The Paracave Podcast, proudly brought to you by Parramatta Leagues Club, The Corner Post, Rubbish Removal Kings, Flash Conveyancing, and Wine Barrels Event Hire Sydney. Are you looking to spruce up your corporate event, or wedding, or birthday? Then Wine Barrel Event Hire Sydney is the answer. They offer quality, authentic wine barrels direct from the Barossa Valley for hire or sale in Sydney and surrounding suburbs. They also hire out half wine barrel eskies, barrel bars and bar stools for short or long-term hire in Sydney at a competitive price, with options to deliver all over Sydney. Make sure you check out their packages at www.winebarrelsforhire.com.au or contact them today on 0405 179 577. Mention the podcast as well, the Paracave Podcast, and you will receive a 10% discount. Wine Barrel Event Hire Sydney, proud sponsors of the Paracave Podcast.
Let's go! Welcome back to another show. Hi, how are ya? It's a Paracave Podcast coming at ya. Turn it up, feel the vibe, blue and gold. Step inside the cave. Yeah. Easy try in the corner. Here's your host, Troy Warner. Coming to you live from the world famous Paracave.
Hi, how are ya? Welcome back to another episode of the Paracave Podcast, and this is the tipping podcast, and we are back for this year. Now, we didn't do the tips for the Vegas games, we didn't do a tipping podcast, but we did do our tips, and joining me once again this year on the tipping podcast is Iconic Elle. How you going, Ella?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really looking forward to this season, and hopefully I can do a little bit better on my tips this year than I did last year.
I'm already going good.
You are 2 from 2 at the moment.
Yes.
You tipped both the Vegas winners, so well done to yourself
Yay.
on that one. Now, what we're going to do each and every week is we're going to do this tipping podcast on a Monday, so it is before Team List Tuesdays come out, so we won't know the ins or outs. We're going to have a crack at doing it on Mondays and just doing it via form of each team of each weekend. And what we will also do is we will also do a tips video as well, which will come out
Yay.
on Thursdays, on Thursday mornings, just before the round kicks off. So, as I mentioned, Ella is 2 from 2 in the tipping comp. Now, the tipping comp is still available to join. You're only 2 games behind.
Aren't you like 104th place?
Yeah, I'm way down the bottom. I only tipped 1 out of 2. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to lift my game, I think.
I'm winning.
Well, you are.
Not-
You're right up there. It's early days yet. But anything can happen. But you can still join the tipping comp. Just check out the Paracave Podcast Instagram page. It's on stories. And the tipping comp is all brought to you by Assure Strata Reports. Give them a follow on Instagram. $500 worth of prize money is up for grabs. $300 to the winner, $150 to second, and $50 to third place. So thank you very much, Assure Strata Reports, for once again coming on board and putting that prize money up. Now, as I mentioned, there is only 6 games being played across the weekend. And look, as I said, we'll tip them on a Monday before team lists come out, and we will only go by form of the teams each and every weekend. Now, round 1 is going to be very interesting because there is no real form to go off. Sure, there is a bit of trial form that we can go off, but nevertheless not really competition form. So this is playing for keeps from now on. It's not trials, so it's playing for keeps. It's playing for 2 competition points. And it kicks off on Thursday down at Amy Park, the 5th of March. Storm versus the Eels. Big game, this one. This one will be watched by millions, I think, because there is so much interest in this game, especially what has happened over the off-season with Zach Lomax and continuing to go on as well. So, look, there'll be a lot of interest in this. I know that there is a lot of Parramatta fans heading down to Melbourne, so I wish I was one of them. However, I won't be. Shout out to the Talking Para podcast. I will be at the Station Hotel watching the game there. So if you're in the area, come on by, check it out, say good day, and we will watch the game together. But it is the Eels trying to end, I think it is a 23-year streak of round 1 victories for the Storm. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. The Eels have shown a lot of promise throughout the pre-season, being the pre-season premiers. The Storm, well, you can never write them off down at home. They still have Harry Grant, Jerome Hughes and Cameron Munster. They have lost a couple of players last year, at the end of last year. Ryan Pappenhausen, Big Nelson as well. But you can never write them off down at home. I'm going to tip the Eels. They are the outsiders in this game, obviously, because it's at the Melbourne Storm's home ground. Ella, who are you tipping in this one?
Oh, I should have remembered my tips. I'm pretty sure I went for the Storm, obviously.
Yes, I'm pretty sure you would have as well. So, look, moving on to the next game. The next game is over in New Zealand at Go Media Stadium in Auckland on Friday the 6th of March, 6pm. It is the first of the Friday night games. The Warriors take on the Roosters. Now, this will probably be a sellout over there in New Zealand. They are crazy mad rugby league fans, so they will have the crowd on their side. The Roosters, well, they will probably have a star-studded side. Obviously, Daly Cherry Evans has moved over there. They are without Reece Robson, who is out with a hand injury at the moment, so that is a big blow for them, a new recruit. But I'm sure Daly will partner Sam Walker in the halves. Pretty much the same sort of side that we saw in the second trial against Parramatta, I am pretty sure. So they will be pretty strong. They are one of the competition favourites. They are favourites in this game, but I don't think you can count out the Warriors as well at home. The Warriors, they are a little bit hot and cold, I guess you could say, one of those teams. Some days they're on, some days they're off. But look, being the first game of the year at home, I think they may be on, I think. So I will tip, even though it is in New Zealand and at home, I will tip the Roosters in this one. I think they will be too strong now that we are playing for competition points. Ella, who are you going for in this one? Who are you tipping?
I'm pretty sure I went for the Warriors because I'm just logging in.
Right, ESPN Tips. That's where you'll find the Paracave podcast tipping competition. So, Warriors for you. And the next game on the Friday night, the doubleheader. Surprise, surprise, the Brisbane Broncos are playing on Friday night. Who would have thought that would have happened? But it is a replay of the prelim final from last season at the same venue. The Broncos taking on the Panthers. The defending premiers are favourites in this game. Nathan Cleary has been cleared to play for the Panthers after getting off that suspension charge, that shoulder charge that he fought at the judiciary. So he will be playing. I'm assuming the Broncos, they will have all their stars playing, as will the Panthers, being the first game of the year. A tough one up for the Panthers, taking on the defending premiers. But the Broncos, they lost to Hull KR in the World Club Challenge, so they'll be looking to start the NRL Premiership the way they ended it last season. The Panthers, they won't want to start the season like they did last year. At one stage last year, they were 0 from plenty, but they were down at the bottom of the table, so they will not want to start the same way this year. But I am tipping the Broncos in this one. I think they will bounce back from their World Club Challenge loss, and they will beat the Penrith Panthers. They've got that home crowd advantage. I think there will be about 40 to 50,000 there at Suncorp Stadium. It's going to be a massive crowd there behind the Broncos, especially being the first games of the year. So, Ella, who are you tipping in this one?
I'm pretty sure I went to. Oh my god! I'm pretty sure I went for the Broncos.
Okay.
I can't
Yeah.
really check because it logged me into another account.
Right, okay. No, that's okay. The Broncos for you and me. The next game is the Sharks versus the Titans. And this one is being played at the newly named Ocean Protect Stadium in Sydney, Cronulla's home ground. They have had many name changes over the years. This is 5:30 p.m. Saturday the 7th of March. The Titans, they play pretty well in the trial games. But they are outsiders, big outsiders. The Sharks are big favourites in this one, obviously being at home. They are potentially going to be another finals team this year like they have been in the previous years. And look, the Titans, they have been tipped by many to be down the bottom of the ladder this year. But you never know what they could surprise people with, because as I said, they had some pretty good form in the trials just recently. I'm going to tip the Sharks in this one, simply because it's at home. I think they just will have a much better team than the Titans in front of their home fans. Ella, who are you going for in this one?
I'm pretty sure I went for the Sharks. I don't know. This might be wrong because I didn't check my tip.
Well, we'll see in the tipping video, that's for sure, what you would have tipped. But, okay, Sharks for you as well. The second game on Saturday is the 7:35 p.m. game at Brookie Oval. Well, if you want to call it 4 Pines Park, you can. The Sea Eagles taking on the Raiders. Now, this with the bookies, but remember, gamble responsibly. They can't split these two. There is no favourite. There is no outsider. They can't split them. It is at Brookvale Oval. Tommy Trbojevic, he'll be leading the team around. Jamal Fogarty playing against his old club for the Manly Sea Eagles with the departure of Daly Cherry Evans. And a new halves combination for the Raiders as well, which has many people wondering about how they will travel this year. Obviously, the minor premiers from last season. So it will be a good game. I think it will be an interesting game. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with the Raiders this year, and especially in this game with that new halves pairing, new young halves pairing. I don't think they'll get minor premiership this season, but I think they could be in potentially a top 8, but I think they will be just outside the 8. Manly, a lot of people are saying they will struggle this year, so look, if they can win their home games, they may push for a top 8 spot. I don't see them making the top 8, unfortunately, but I do think they will win this game. Ella, who you got in this game?
Wait, are we up to Sea Eagles versus
Yep.
Raiders? I'm pretty sure I went Sea Eagles.
Okay, yep, good choice.
Again, you'll see in the video because I have no idea right now.
Yep, good choice there. And the last game of the weekend on Sunday is the Dolphins taking on the Rabbitohs, the Wayne Bennett Cup here. Obviously, he coached the Dolphins in the last 2 years ago now for their first 2 seasons in the competition, and has been at the Rabbitohs for the last 2 years. The Rabbitohs, they get David Fafita into their side. I'm assuming they'll be all fit and firing, the Rabbitohs. Latrell, Cody Walker, Cam Murray is back after missing most of last season. And as I said, David Fafita as well, so he will make a difference. Jack Whiten as well, back in the team as well. They had a good win over Manly in the trial games. And the Dolphins, well, look, many have tipped them to make the top 8 this year. This game being played at Suncorp Stadium as well in Brisbane, so there should be a decent crowd there. Not as big as the Brisbane-Penrith game, but there will be a decent crowd there. The Dolphins, as I said, many have tipped them to make the top 8 this season. This is a good test for them. Whether Trey Fuller plays at fullback or Hammer plays at fullback, we don't know yet at the time of recording. So, as I said, we're doing it on a Monday, so we're only going off team form this year, which will make it a little bit more interesting as well, I reckon, anyway. Without knowing who is in, who is out. Too much thinking then to do that. But I am going to tip the Dolphins in this one. Ella, who you got?
I'm pretty sure I went for the Dolphins also.
Okay. Well, we've got a few pretty much the same tips, I think.
Yeah.
Except you've gone the Storm I'm tipping instead of the Eels. So, look, we've only gone one different here this week, so that may be the difference between a perfect round and a non-perfect round for you, this game here on Thursday night. So cannot wait for that one. As I said, this will be a mostly entertaining game, and it will be a much-watched game this season, this first game on Thursday at 8 p.m. Look, thank you very much for listening to this podcast. As I said, there will be...
You didn't say the bye.
Oh, I haven't said goodbye yet. And there will be the tip videos coming out on Thursday mornings throughout the season. So keep your eyes on the podcast, Paracave Podcast, on Instagram for that one. You will see them there, as you did see the Vegas tips, that tip videos that we did as well. So give me a follow on Instagram, the Paracave Podcast. Also give a short Strata Reports a follow as well, as they are putting up the cash for the tipping comp, which you can still join. So if you would like to join that one,
ESPN Footy Tip.
ESPN Footy Tips, search Paracave Podcast. It's free to enter, or send me a message and I can send you the link for that as well.
Hooray!
Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy your rugby league over the weekend. The first round of the season should be a cracker, and we will be back next week for round 2 tips, where we will know a little bit of form of each team, so we'll know how they play over this weekend. So there may be a couple of upsets this week. We just have to wait and see. So enjoy your footy over the weekend, and the Paracave Podcast by the fan, for the fans.
Bye!
Go Para!